It is simply unbelievable that in order to allow Pakistanis to use cheap plastic bags for domestic use, this simple small workshop in Peshawar uses recycled waste plastic bags at low prices to produce affordable plastic bags. Dear Yanzu, please put on your protective mask and follow my camera to enter this place that specializes in plastic recycling. Although the nest is small, the business is quite big. Just this waste plastic bags all over the ground. The boss took the initiative to explain that these plastic bags all came from the surrounding rural waste recycling stations. Some were just thrown into the trash can after use, and some had been sleeping outdoors for hundreds of thousands of days. However, today, they are under the stone of the stone wastelander. Children come here to experience a thorough transformation. They are reborn after glowing and heating again. The first step to start the transformation is to put these discarded plastic bags into the extruder. Following the principle of saving as much as possible, the equipment used to process waste plastic bags is an 8-hand antique-grade extruder. Since plastic bags are light and easily melted by heat, a wooden stick must be used to press them into the feed port of the extruder. In this way, the plastic belt pressed into the extruder will be squeezed into the heating barrel at the front end under the strong squeezing of the screw rod. The barrel heating also adopts the method of burning the plastic belt. Although it is originally made of copper roots, a small part of it is the sacrifice of the plastic tape has brought about the rebirth of most of the plastic tape. When the plastic tape is heated to a gel state and filtered through a filter to remove impurities, it finally forms a relatively fine and uniform sol by squeezing out the wood. Although the orange color of this machine is quite old and backward, its age is less than 10 years. If you count the captains who have served, 800 people have been sent away unknowingly. As the plastic bags are continuously put into the feed port, the sol squeezed out of the wood begins to be squeezed out year after year. The scene in this den is like the feeling of constipation after squatting down, and the smoothness of black and gray butter when decorating flowers. When facing such dark products like food, it naturally requires professional chefs to control them. Ordinary chefs have the special skill of not being afraid of high temperatures, but the chefs of Pakistan. In addition to having a pair of ruthless iron hands, you also need to ignore the smoke of plastic decomposition from the perspective of observation. You only need a shovel and skilled segmentation skills too. Here you can become the operator of the red shovel, Feng Yun. With a seemingly messy but actually disorderly cutting operation, a large lump of sol is divided into these small rubber blocks. Then you need to sprinkle the local specialty oxidizable disulfide so that the sol can quickly solidify into a relatively solid rubber block. Next, you need to put the prepared rubber block into the crusher to break the rubber block into plastic slag in order to use. So you also need put it into the roller machine for high-speed stirring. At the same time, it is necessary to add an appropriate amount of additives to improve the physical properties of the plastic. Then the mixed plastic residue can be poured into the extruder. In this way, under the strong extrusion of the bare rod inside the extruder and the temperature control and heating of the barrel, the sol of the wood will be extruded to form this kind of sheet-like rubber strip. Then the hot rubber strip will pass through the roller at the bottom of the cooling pool for preliminary cooling. In more, the plastic rope is gradually stretched into a thin strapping tape by the stretching roller. Then the strapping tape is passed through a water cooling pool for cooling and shaping. Then the strapping tape of standard specifications can be produced. Then the strapping tape is rolled up by an automatic winding machine. When it is rolled up to a certain length, it can be bundled and packaged. So after watching the whole process, what do you think of this plastic recycling method?